much, Nicholas. I should say the undefeated and resilient President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. I want to thank Daniel for his presentation today, the historic account of the formation of ALBA. And I certainly want to begin with an enduring quote, and there are many, from the late revolutionist Fidel Castro. And it states that the equal right of all citizens to health, education, work, food, security, culture, science, and well-being, that is the same rights we proclaimed when we began our struggle, in addition to those which emerged from our dreams of justice and equality for all inhabitants of our world, is what I wish for all, end of quote. These are the enduring words of one of the founding fathers of the Bolivarian Alliance, whose vision and determination for an integrated Latin America and the Caribbean with resilient prosperity we pursue today. We gather here today for the celebration of 20 years of ALBA-TCP, a successful regional institution, a movement of the people of Latin America and the Caribbean. I wish to thank our founding fathers, the militant visionaries who carried the flag for the continued liberation of our Americas, Commanders Fidel Castro and Hugo Rafael Chavez Frias. As we celebrate the 20th anniversary of ALBA, let us not lose sight of the living dream of Fidel and Chavez for a strong integration movement and resilient prosperity for our people. Sincere thanks and gratitude to President Maduro and the government of the Bolivarian Republic for their warm hospitality and the excellent leadership of ALBA, literally going beyond the call of duty to ensure the viability and continuity of ALBA. I look forward to returning shortly to witness and to participate in the official inauguration ceremony for the President-elect, Nicolas Maduro, in January. Colleagues, the need for our continued engagement and solidarity are critical as we confront the various challenges, the climate injustices that we are faced with, and certainly other injustices, including the inequitable global financial system and the geopolitical crises, the war in Ukraine, the genocide in Gaza, among others. Just today, we discussed a new emerging threat, and that is the threat of the technological oligarchy. As a political movement that promotes the values of shared global prosperity, equality, justice, peace, and unity, we must continue to stand collectively on these values and fight injustices and violations of these values in all fora. We must utilize our collective advocacy and use all measures available, including international law, to fight injustice. We must stand against the aggression of the powerful against the powerless, while ensuring that our hemisphere remains a zone of peace. Our hemisphere is home to some of the smallest and most vulnerable small island developing states on the planet that will suffer disproportionately from any hemispheric instability. That is why we all continue to advocate strenuously for our hemisphere to remain a zone of peace. While there is no military intervention in our hemisphere at this time, and we hope that there will be none in the near future, we know that our challenges may soon be compounded by a looming trade war between the United States and China, in which the former pledges to increase tariffs on goods manufactured in China by as much as 100%. Should they follow through, that will be devastating. The OECS member states of ALBA not only rank among the most vulnerable in the world, they have small, vulnerable, import-dependent economies that are extremely susceptible to shocks from increased prices. All of these countries are heavily dependent on trade with the United States, which is the main source market for imports, including food. and the exportation of tourism services. Tariffication that increases prices for U.S. and Caribbean citizens could reduce the demand for tourism product in the U.S., while simultaneously increase the price of goods and services, including food, undermining our economic growth and our prospects of achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. This potential threat underscores the need for greater diversification of Caribbean economies to include market diversification to mitigate these risks. And we need to see increased interregional trade within ALBA-TCP to ensure that we could mitigate against these geopolitical threats. And I certainly want to take up President Maduro on the need for us to strengthen tourism within our integration movement. And I certainly issue an invitation to all of you here at this forum, as well as those who are watching via various media, to visit the Caribbean, including Antigua and Barbuda, where you can enjoy one of the best vacations anywhere in the world. These are the type of collaborations that we need to ensure that we increase trade within our integration movement. Now, the recent Agro-Alba initiative, in which the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela offered 25,000 acres of land to OECS member states, has come at a very opportune time as we seek to mitigate against the threats, the extant threats, including the tariffication that is likely to take place. Now, Antigua and Barbuda is one of the most water-scarce countries in the world, with persistent droughts, which have been exacerbated by climate change. This offer will help us to address and resolve our ongoing food security challenges by providing us with arable land to cultivate food. The remaining area of challenge will be the issue of transportation, both air and sea, which I'm sure with the collective efforts we could resolve this issue with the establishment of an ALBA transportation mechanism utilizing existing assets, including LIAT and Conviasa, and the acquisition of assets to establish reliable sea transportation. So it's important that we continue to ensure that we're able to move goods and people within the region as we seek to strengthen our integration movement. Our successes over the past 20 years must also serve as motivational experiences that will further stimulate our further commitment to work assiduously and certainly smarter in conceptualization of new and innovative projects and programs. Following on the successful Petro-Caribe financing initiative, this Agro-Alba initiative is a prime example of an innovative project with the potential to transform the agricultural landscape among ALBA members. So once again, we commend President Maduro and the government of Venezuela. Agro-Alba is certainly a win-win initiative based on the productive and sustainable development of our countries within a shared geopolitical perspective, promoting the consolidation of economic independence, food sovereignty, and security. This will also ensure the eradication of hunger and consequently the reduction of poverty, thereby maximizing the social justice among our nations. Today, we celebrate many institutions within our integration movement, including the Bank of ALBA, the Regional Compensation Unitary System, the SUCR, the ALBA-TCP Development Cooperation Agency. These are certainly all important programs designed over the years to help member countries fight against poverty, exclusion, and eradicating social inequalities. With the vision of promoting social, political, and economic cooperation among its member countries, primarily in Latin America and the Caribbean, ALBA has successfully carried out a number of programs. And we recall the Mission Miracle, which provides free surgeries and educational programs that have had a significant impact on our communities. We also recall Petro-Caribe, which I understand will be revived, will be bigger and better. This had allowed countries to purchase oil from Venezuela on favorable terms and would have helped many member states, especially during the global crisis. In fact, it was a lifeline for member states during the global crisis. Colleagues, our founding fathers, Comrades Fidel and Chavez, have left us a legacy of determination and creativity in our efforts to further strengthen the integration of Latin America and the Caribbean, creating the requisite integration mechanism to further strengthen our efforts for equal rights, justice, and peace. It is in difficult times like these that we need to strengthen our hemispheric integration movement, ALBA-TCP, which promotes engagement and fraternal ties between Latin America and Caribbean nations. By so doing, it can further help us navigate the economic and social challenges that we'll face from time to time. Resilience, inclusion, and sustainability, including the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, are key to shaping our present response to the current political, economic, and social crises. Antigua and Barbuda remains committed to the principles of respect for sovereignty, territorial integrity, non-intervention, and certainly non-interference in internal affairs of states. These are among the values that underpin our relationship with our brother and sister countries in ALBA. We continue to stand with Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, denouncing the unilateral coercive measures against them and reiterate our numerous calls for an end to the senseless embargo against Cuba and its people. Similarly, we stand with the government and people of Venezuela in support of its duly elected president, President-elect Nicolas Maduro. And we also take this opportunity to condemn the efforts of all who seek to interfere in the internal affairs of Venezuela, to recognize or perhaps forcefully to install any imposter who purports to be the president of Venezuela. Venezuela has one duly elected president. That is Nicolas Maduro. And Antigua and Barbuda recognize no other. So no Guaida 2.0 or any other. Comrades, the Bolivarian Alliance, of which we are all proud members, can only achieve optimum social and economic well-being of our people if we work closely together in mutual solidarity. Our ALBA-TCP movement has survived 20 years and continues to thrive. Let us continue to collaborate and cooperate with each other to strengthen our movement for the benefit of all. Long live ALBA, long live the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, and its duly elected president, our brother and friend, Nicolas Maduro. I thank you.
Bueno, buenos consejos de la economía.